Hi guys, welcome back to The Rustic Wife. My name's Alana. So today I am going to be freezing some sweet corn. Yesterday I picked it and I did a video on how to tell when your sweet corn is ready, and I'll put that video up there for you in case you missed it. And so I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I freeze my sweet corn. There's plenty of ways to do it. Some people freeze the whole cob, some people don't blanch it, but I blanch mine for about 4 minutes, put it in ice water, cut it off the cob, and portion it out into Ziploc bags and put it in the freezer. So it's pretty simple. So I will turn you around and bring you along with me. Before you start, it's really handy to have everything out that you need. That way you're not running all over the place with your pots of corn boiling, and it's just a mess. So just be organized, it's easier that way. I use my canning pot and fill it up with water, and I blanch my corn in that. It's bigger than my soup pot, so that's kind of handy. I have my corn already husked, and try to get it as fresh as you can. I picked this yesterday, so this will be fine. I have my freezer bags to portion the corn out. And if you don't have freezer bags, or if you don't want to use freezer bags, these are really handy to save little cream cartons or milk cartons. I just wash them out and I use them for so much. I freeze pumpkin puree in those. So you can just put your corn in there, fold it back down, and use an elastic to secure it. And once it's frozen, they can stack in your freezer. They're really, really handy. I use those when I'm doing beeswax and freezing all sorts of stuff. So I've got my scoop with me. I'm going to fill up my sink with ice water. Just after I'm done putting the corn in the boiling water, I will put it in the ice water to stop the cooking. I don't want the corn to be mushy. I also have a bowl here just to transport the corn over to there so I can put it into the ice water. Over here I have my cutting station. If you have an electric knife, that's handy. I don't have the blades for mine, but this is a really handy trick. So I use a angel food cake pan, and I stand the cob up in that, and I cut it, and the kernels fall into the tube pan. And I just keep this basin here for any, well, there'll be juices and stuff. You don't want that all over your counter. So, and then all the excess falls into your basin. Water's boiled. I also have some tongs to take the corn out of the boiling water, and I have my ice water ready to plunge the cobs into. I'm going to set the timer for 4 minutes. All right, so my 4 minutes is up, and I'm just going to be very carefully taking the lid off. I don't want to steam burn myself, of course, because I have done that before, and it hurts. I'm going to take the corn out of your pot. Try to do this as quickly as possible to get the corn into the ice water. You want to stop the cooking process very quickly, and so keep the corn in the ice water for about 3 or 4 minutes. So the reason why I choose to blanch the corn before I freeze it is apparently blanching seems to help preserve the color and the flavor and the texture of the corn when you freeze it. I haven't tried it raw before, so I can't say whether it's the same or not. All I know is that I've always done it this way, and it always turns out really nice. So I just keep doing it this way. So the corn has been in the ice water for 4 minutes, and like I said, I've got a basin here with an angel food cake pan, and I just find this really handy to hold your corn, and then I just slice it off. And that's it, and then just keep a bucket for your cobs right over there on the other side, and keep going until all your corn's done. So you see, got a few kernels of corn and just a little bit of water from the cobs when I took them out of the ice water. But it's pretty clean. I don't have a lot of cleanup. I don't have a lot of kernels flying all over my counter. So this is kind of a handy setup, and it's really easy to use this as your the stand for the corn cobs. And you can just, oh, also I use a serrated bread knife. Find that really easy. Also, the corn comes off in big chunks. I don't mind that because when I cook it in the winter for a meal, it breaks up really easily. But you can always just take a fork and break them apart now if you want to. I like to do all the blanching at once and cutting the kernels off the cob, and then I'll put them in freezer bags later. So I keep another bowl here just to keep all the kernels until I'm done doing all of the batches. So there's all the corn done, and you can see here the mess that this angel cake pan caught, and the water also that it catches. It goes into the pan versus into your pot of corn. So it's a little handy tip for you to try. Now, if you don't have one of these wide basins, you can always just use a roasting pan. So make sure it's big enough. You can use something like that. Just as long as your angel cake pan can fit into it, it'll work perfect. Okay, so when I'm gonna fill my bags, I just use my 1 cup measuring cup just to fill them. That's easy. So also when I'm using these Ziploc bags, I just like to fold the top over. Just makes it easier to fill, just so you don't get any mess where the zip is. And I just take my 1 cup scoop, put 2 of them in there because I'm doing 2 cups. I also do it over a basin in case I spill some, because I'm like that. And then I just fold it over this way, kind of forces all the air out, zip it up. And then what I do actually after that, I kind of spread the corn out, because I like to freeze them flat and lay them flat in the freezer, and that way I can stack them. It's just handier that way. There's the corn, it's all ready for the freezer. We have 16 2-cup bags from 4 dozen corn. And then these corn cobs, I'm just gonna toss them into the pheasant pen at the back and let them pick away at the last little bit, and then the rest will go into, when they're done, it'll go into the compost. Some people make corn cob jelly with that. I've never made it, but some people like it. And yeah, so here we are. So I mentioned that we got 16 2-cup bags of corn from 4 dozen that we grew here. And if we eat corn once a week, that will give us 16 weeks or 4 months of meals. And we also have more that will be ready in about a week in the garden, and I'll do the same with that. So we should end up with about 30 bags. That should get us through till next year, and if not, we'll just buy some. But it's nice to have your own or local corn, and if you don't grow your own, just grab some from a roadside stand or the grocery store when you have some local corn there, and you can do the same thing. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again next time.